Senator Grassley, for holding this important hearing. When I was a DA in Hennepin County, our biggest county, when I first got there, we had rampant carjacking. We made major focus on this. Back then, it was bait cars. It was more, of course, cars being stolen from the street, but oftentimes there are also people in them, and I'm committed to making a change here. I thought it was interesting what you talked about, Mr. Claw, which makes some sense to me. About everything you guys said made sense, but I want to start with this, with the organized crime, and this idea that some of this is just, people doing this for the fun of it, with people dead as a result, but some of it is because of the high demand for vehicles, and they're taking these cars. And would that make you lead more to a federal response and the need for coordination with the FBI, U.S. Attorney's Office, and such?
Senator, thank you for the question. And fortunately, NICB is postured. That's what we do. And we actually have two former U.S. attorneys that are on my staff here today with us. We have aggressively postured with the FBI, Homeland Security investigations, and state and local law enforcement, exactly what you're talking about. The demand for cars right now is at an all-time high in the United States, up 39%. You can barely get a car when you go into a lot. And it has created a market for criminal organizations, especially if they don't actually commit a robbery, a violent crime. These are property crimes. And we have seen a tremendous uptick in the United States since 2019, a 16% increase in auto theft, but just the numbers on auto theft. Colorado's seen a 79% increase in auto theft. Wisconsin, 74%. Vermont, 64%. New York, 59%. DC, 52%.
Yep, I know.
Yeah.
Could I give you my numbers?
Sure.
Minneapolis alone, this is one city, saw a 537% increase in carjackings between 2019 and 2020. In 2021, there were more than 640 successful or attempted carjackings in one city. That is not so different than what you're seeing by the numbers in Cook County. Sheriff, it's very similar with the percentages, where you've seen carjacking spike nearly threefold. I want to go to a different topic here with you, Chief Garcia, and that would be about, in general, supporting the police and the need to, with the morale issue and the like. I've led bipartisan legislation for years with Senator Murkowski, Coons, Tillis, about reauthorizing the COPS program. Could you talk about how that helps local law enforcement?
Absolutely. Having that support from the COPS office and the COPS program, not only for the programs that we want to do and institute with regards to looking at ways, if you remember the old weed and seed programs that we would have prior. I was a big weed and seed back in the early 90s when I started this, and we kind of had a resurgence of it in the city of Dallas with the terminology and using that. But having those resources, helping resources, and getting officers on the street, doing both proactive policing as well as community engagement is crucial and critical. More police officers in law enforcement agencies, if you have a plan, reduces violent crime.
If you have a plan.
Yes, ma'am.
I agree. Mr. Herdman, in early February, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota brought federal charges against a group of 7 men for violent crimes, including carjacking. These cases were being prosecuted as part of the joint federal, state, and local Project Safe Neighborhoods, which is, as you know, a federal initiative led by U.S. attorneys. How does partnering with local and state law enforcement agencies act as a force multiplier for the U.S. attorney's offices?
Thank you for the question, Senator Klobuchar. The federal agencies, they operate most effectively, in my experience, when they actually are present in the police departments. When you have ATF agents and FBI agents who show up and work hand in hand on the same shifts with patrol officers, I think that that's a very effective way to demonstrate a message not only to the police officers in the big city department, but I think also to the community. And so I would suspect that that's what was going on with the Violent Crime Task Force in Minneapolis. I would hope so, because you do see it's daily coordination and hourly coordination as opposed to on a quarterly basis or a biannual basis. It's much more frequent and I think much more effective that way.
So you would agree that it's important to have a U.S. attorney in place, regardless of their political party, have someone in place running these offices?
I'm aware of the candidate who's been nominated. He's my partner at Jones Day, Mr. Lugar.
Are you kidding? I didn't know that.
And I will say, I'm on the record, I think, with respect to Mr. Lugar, he's superbly qualified.
Thank you. And as you should all know, that Mr. Lugar was the U.S. Attorney at the end of President Obama's term. Actually, the Justice Department under Donald Trump, he was one of two people they were considering having stayed on. He decided to go another route, and now he's ready to come back. He has strong support from Republican leaders that people on this side of the dais know. We haven't had problems with Andy Lugar from most of the Republican senators. This is a crusade of Tom Cotton's, who is not just holding up Mr. Lugar, he's holding up a number of other U.S. attorneys and marshals. And I've got a situation in my state, and he's not here right now, where we have 2 retired police chiefs in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Like many jurisdictions, we don't have enough police right now. And Andy Lugar has vast experience and is willing to take on this carjacking issue. But Tom Cotton has decided, because of his opposition to something happening in another state, that he is holding up my U.S. attorney. And I have had it. And if he wants to be on the side of carjackers, go ahead. But we need leadership. This is not just a state and local issue. This is an organized crime issue, as Mr. Glaw has pointed out. This is an issue that goes beyond little local jurisdictions and one neighborhood's cop. It is about the cops doing their jobs, but it is also about taking on these cases in a big, big way. None of you have much to do with this. I cannot believe you're at the same law firm, Mr. Herdman. I did not know that. But I would really appreciate my colleagues on the other side of the aisle talking to Mr. Cotton to find some way to resolve this in the next week, because I am not going to give this up. You cannot hold up the U.S. attorneys who have no serious objections, support from Republicans, just to make a case, because you want to get attention nationally. Thank you.
I might add that the U.S. Marshal for the Northern District of Illinois is also on Senator Cotton's list. Senator,
The marshal in the state of Minnesota.